Johnny Pencil here again. What is going on with my yellow pencil? Today we're going to try to show another model. So we'll be back here in just a minute and see what that looks like. Alrighty, out here at a beautiful flying field here, and here's our new model, and this is what we're going to be showing. Actually, Charlie is going to be doing the filming today, so we'll be back in a minute and she's going to show us what the real model is. Okay, here we are. The actual model we're going to show here is a pretty popular one. This is a Mamba 60E, I believe is what they call it. So Charlie is going to show a little bit of this up close and back away a little bit so she can see what we're doing with the pencil. I'm going to go ahead and turn the pencil on now here and show you that. We'll set it back here. So we have set the pencil down, and we're now going to go ahead and plug the battery up and see that everything initializes. I think if she can see the whole plane here, we'll be able to see the whole thing come alive the way most of us are used to seeing it. We'll see what happens here. Okay, it looks like it is initializing. I'll listen for the throttle, and we definitely want to make sure so we can show you. When it sounds right. I think the wind is making it maybe not want to initialize. While it's doing that, we do have the ailerons. Talk more about a little bit. We've got our elevator up and down. We've got our rudder left and right. There we go. Took a little while to initialize, but there we go. Now we can see we got some throttle. Looks like it ought to do plenty. It's pretty overcast here today. I'm going to go ahead and look at the trims. I can set the trim here to be a little bit kind of like a dual rate. Maybe not quite, so see how that's looking. Okay, and I think I'm about ready. I'll set this down here and put the cover on it. Come in here from the side. I think Charlie's going to try to back up so she can maybe see. We're going to probably take off this way into the wind, of course, and maybe try to taxi it on the ground a little bit. And hopefully she can be behind me and maybe get the perspective where we can see both the control and the plane take off. So I'm going to leave that up to her and see what actually happens here. Pencil in the hand. Go ahead and walk it out here. Okay, so like I said, if you're back here, you ought to be able to see a view from this side. Do a couple more checks here. It's looking like getting what we want here. Happens. There we got it up in the air. There we go. Okay. Come over. Go back. Here it comes. Turn around. Go back. All right, it flies, but I'm going to leave that there for now. Let me say thank you to our lovely camera lady, Charlie, and I'm going to segue here and try to address a few comments from the local flying community. about, you know, what if they're used to something more like this, right? And they're being asked maybe to use something like this, but they're, you know, experienced and they've done this for years and years. What would that process be? How would they go about, you know, utilizing this new technology? I mean, frankly, they are very different types of technology, as one of my favorites, by the way, of the older technology. But trying to get someone used to this, you know, and say maybe you ought to try this, that might not be an easy sell, or it might be. Let's see if I could try to make that a bit more clear. What a gorgeous airplane. I think I'm going to try to use this airplane, hopefully recognizable. It should be a, what is it, a extra 300 60E Pro in this particular case. But let's see if I can use this particular up-to-date model to kind of show what some of the possibilities are here. Okay, let's see if we can utilize a very recognizable typical transmitter and airplane, 3D plane that we might be possibly learning to use this on in a conventional radio format as a selectable feature. So, for example, most of us would be familiar by looking at the monitor and looking at the airplane, what our ailerons would do with that kind of a movement, what our elevator would do, right? And then what would our rudder do, right? That's pretty typical, right? But what if you could make it into a selectable feature where all of a sudden our elevator was just pulled back on the yoke like you would in an airplane, and our ailerons are just your typical twist, right? You say, what about the rudder? What if we could just turn it like a steering wheel, right? And there's our rudder. And all of a sudden, right, with all of them, you can see everything moving. But if it's a selectable feature, then it should make perfect sense why you don't have to use it, or you can use it. It would be your preference. People could train, or they would choose to not train, in theory, if they didn't like it at all. So it kind of accommodates everyone. So again, I will be back with more information. Until next time.